Hello, in this quick tip video, I will be showing you a very cool resource in Canvas called Course Analytics. Now you'll find Course Analytics on the right-hand side of your homepage. And so there's a lot happening in Course Analytics, and I'm going to give you a highlight of some of the features. And here at eLearning, we are happy to work with you if you'd like to explore or delve into any of this information further. But we'll just go ahead and start with this first option. So this first option here is the course grade. So of course you'll see the average course grade. You can also see the average grades on different assignments. You can decide whether or not you want to include discussions, quizzes, or assignments. What you can also look at are individual student grades. And so I'm going to go ahead and select a couple students here. So we can see this first student is doing above average in most of these assignments, but did well below average in this one assignment. And so this might be an instance of, if the assignment was not to that student's strength, maybe they submitted it very late, could be worth exploring a little bit more. I can add a second student here. We can have them as different colors to kind of see how they look. Again, this student is doing close to average, a little above average, maybe has a missing assignment there. If you click on the individual assignments themselves, what you can see is a histogram of student performance or student grades on those assignments. You'll see that average of that assignment, the range, and then you can also see how many late or missing assignments there were with this. With the histogram, you can see the frequency and kind of the breakdown of the grades. Now, one thing that's cool with this is you can see who submitted the assignments late by clicking on that. And you can do a message students who for all of those students that submitted that assignment late or for whom that assignment was missing. You can also include displaying the shapes just makes these color different, but also the shapes are different. So that's an accessibility feature. You can also include a data chart. And so that includes the two students that I highlighted here. But again, you can see the percentages listed. And same thing, if you click on them, you'll see a histogram, the range, for whom that assignment's missing, or who submitted it late, and the option to message those students directly. You can also go ahead and take a look at the weekly online activity for the students in your class. And so there, again, this is a great wealth of information. And so obviously how many students you have, the page views for the different materials, and then you can go ahead and see a data table again. And so one thing that's nice here, again, is you can see weekly kind of the number of page views and participations. And then you can go to an individual week, for example, click on that kind of page view information. And you can see, again, the total number of page views, and then how many students didn't view any pages at all or didn't participate at all in that week. Okay, and so for example, let's say these students didn't view any pages. So this is, 2 days old, so it's not concerning that these students haven't participated yet. But what you can do is click on those number who did not view, and you can see it's loading here, and it'll populate with the 4 students that didn't view any pages that week. Let's go and look at a different week here. Okay, so this is the previous week. And so again, we're getting the data for how many students didn't even log in or view anything in the course. And you can click on that um, and directly send a message to the students. And here you can even message the students that did view, participate, or those that did not participate. So we had, you know, 1 student that didn't view any pages and an additional 4 that viewed things but didn't participate in the class. So you can directly find out who those students are and reach out to them. Um, Clicking on the student reports, you just get a breakdown of their percentage of the in the course, and then the percent of assignments they turned in on time, which could be really great for writing letters of recommendation, but also kind of to you know highlight to students the importance of getting work on time and how that results in grade differences. You can download any of these reports. And then the last thing that might be useful here is this online attendance. If you go to settings, you can determine what online attendance actually means. So this is an asynchronous course, and so maybe it's just accessing the course, maybe it's them posting, um, maybe it's them submitting an assignment, maybe it's them taking a quiz. So you can decide what that includes. And so attendance in this case is if they do any of the following 4. You can, and so, maybe you don't have students post every day, but if they view the course every day, it'll still count. So you can enable this or not and decide what, attendance looks like. And so this could be useful when you go in, for students' financial aid, or when at the end of the course, when you enter grades and you have to enter the last date of attendance, you can kind of quickly see when they last accessed. It's also a nice visual picture of kind of students' access, and so how many days they might not be accessing the course, for example, during the week. So that was a long quick tip video. It was a semi-quick tip. But again, there's a lot of information here, and so hopefully you find something that's useful for you as you go through your course.